I am freezing. It's like 15 degrees out here, but I'm determined. Today we've got Brandon. Brandon, thank you so much for meeting up with me. Man, look at this truck. This is awesome.
I'm kind of one of those guys, if I see somebody using something that I don't have, I kind of watch and see if it's something I need. Generally it is.
So we're in Nevada today, and I love it. It's like just so wide open. Not a whole lot here.
The Ruby Mountains right there.
The Ruby Mountains. That's awesome. Man, so you have a service truck here. What type of work do you do?
So I'm a mine mechanic.
Okay.
Work mainly in the field. Out
Nice.
at the local gold mines.
Oh, gold. That sounds crazy. It seems bigger than a typical service truck.
So for the gold mines out there, it's about typical size, really.
Is it really?
Pretty big trucks out there. You got some of the smaller ones like the Ram 5500s and Ford F550s, 600s, stuff like that. There's a lot of Kenworths and Peterbilts service trucks out at the mines. This one is a 2010 Ford F750.
F750.
It's got a 33,000 GVW and air brakes.
That's a big girl right there. Holy cow.
Yeah, she's hefty.
Yeah. So what type of stuff do you service out there?
Mainly I work on like a Cat 793, 777 haul trucks, 795 Cat haul trucks, Komatsu 930 haul trucks.
And are those like massive trucks? Like I don't know any of those.
They're 12-foot tall tires, and
holy crap!
They haul. Let's see, I think the Komatsu 930s, they're about 320 tons in the bed. And so,
oh my! So like those are the ones you have to get, like you have to walk up the stairs to get to the driver's seat.
There's a stairway. They got powered ladders on them and stuff for people to get in. I got one real tall ladder that's in the back. That's for getting to the lights and things like that.
Oh, gotcha.
Really. Sometimes you gotta go spelunking in them and crawl underneath the bed and into the middle. And
oh, that's crazy.
Well, we'll start at the main one.
Okay.
This is where I do most of my work out of. So,
oh my gosh, a lot of drawers in there.
Yeah, and then you got your side storage for some of your bigger stuff. You know, your breaker bars and stuff like that on this side. Medium-sized pry bars.
That's a medium size?
That's a medium.
Holy cow. And I love your use of magnets here.
Yeah, a buddy of mine actually turned me on to that. He did it first, and then I copied him. And it works out really handy because it keeps everything right at your fingertips, you know.
And these are strong enough to keep them like falling off?
Oh yeah, they don't ever come off there. You can kind of throw them at it and it sticks.
That's awesome. On this side too, huh?
Yep. And then those are my my wrench rails, and I really like them. Snap-on came out with these, I think, last year or something like that.
Okay.
But it makes it really nice because there's a socket on top of that, and so you have all your, basic ones right at your fingertips.
Love that. And I like that you put the magnet down here so they're not all like swaying everywhere.
Yeah, I had it the other way and it was kind of making a mess and noisy, and I didn't like it, so I got some more.
So are these your most used pliers and stuff? Is that why they're out? Or?
Yeah, that's why I have these. I mean, you got your Cobra pliers, which these are a mainstay in the mining community.
Gotcha.
And then your impact screwdriver. These are a crescent wrench that Matco actually just came out with. They're super wide mouth, but they're a little bit narrower than like the Snap-on or the Bacos.
Okay.
And they got little teeth grippers in there. You know, whether those work that great or not, I'm not really certain, but they do a good job. And they're green. Green's my favorite color. I love green and, Milwaukee red.
I love it. So how long have you been in this truck?
About 2 years.
Oh, 2 years.
A little over. And I'm not the one that wrote the names on the drawers, because you'll find out that that's not what's in those.
Oh, no.
I tried to kind of stick with it, but there's, air tools. I got way more air tools than that. And cordless tools, that's not even close. And then, like this one, I like to keep the It's got a lot of the picks and things like that, you know, your different O-ring picks and little itty bitty screwdrivers, and then just kind of a standard screwdriver set. Got dial calipers and then magnets and just odds and ends stuff. And this one is the pliers drawer, which you got like hose crimpers there. This is like the really fine detailed one set. It's kind of nice to have.
Nice.
And then more Cobra pliers. And then the newer disconnect pliers. These things are a godsend.
Yeah.
You know, you keep it packed full enough, the stuff doesn't move around a whole lot.
That's awesome, yeah. It's funny, because I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest, but when you said you work on like ginormous trucks, I was just expecting like, you know, inch sockets, you know, all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of cool that you have, you know, stuff that just a regular auto, you know, technician would use.
Yeah, I mean, you do get some of the big stuff, but believe it or not, most of the stuff you do is with little tools.
Really?
3/8 drive. And, you know, if you're working on CAT equipment, you got to have a 9/16, 16 mil, and an 18 mil, and that's what holds 90% of that truck together.
That's awesome. And as far as your pliers go, is there a brand that you typically stick with, or is...
I like the Snap-on because I like the grips on the Snap-ons a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I also get into the, you know, Nip-X pretty heavy because they make a really good tool.
Sure. And these organizers in here, what are those?
Those are Snap-on.
Oh, there, okay.
I got it in a little bit of a set.
Awesome.
And it made it, they hold up pretty well.
It looks like they fit perfect.
Yeah. You know, you got your mini bolt cutters.
Awesome.
These are like, I guess Mac had them first, but they're made so they got like the teeth on the inside there, so you can get on like the end of a screw and grab a hold of it and turn it. They come in really handy on occasion. And you got like blind screws and whatnot. You can kind of hold on to it with that and tighten up the nut and not have to go fishing around back behind whatever you're working on. And there's Coyote over there somewhere. I just heard
that. And is this, so you said you had a truck before this one. What, did it have the same type of
yeah,
configuration?
I had a Ram 5500. It was pretty close to that, where it had like one main stack of drawers and then the rest is kind of bins.
Okay.
It's laid out you know, considerably smaller.
Gotcha.
But I had that thing loaded to the gills.
Yeah.
Now this one says punches pry bars, but that's not what's in there. You got like the 1/4-inch drive set here, then tap sockets. Those are super handy. And then all the different bits and stuff for your like 1/4-inch driver. Awesome. I have on a little to-go tray, so if you're doing something up in the truck, you just kind of grab the whole thing out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Holds it pretty nice. I mean, some of them are a little loose, but pretty big fan of Snap-on. That's where most of my stuff comes from, but I do venture out onto some of the others. Like on my pry bars and stuff, I actually like the Mac grip better.
Okay.
And so those are Mac. And this thing, I've had it forever. I think it came in a little Chinesium tool set.
Yeah.
But it's like the best little driver I've ever had because it has this little thumb spot here.
Oh, look at that.
It ratchets, and it makes it super nice. But you can get pretty good torque on it with that.
Man, those tap sockets are ginormous.
Yeah.
What kind of taps are you?
So those will be, you know, up to 1.25 inches, I think. Some of those. After that, you know, it gets a little bit more complicated, but more bits over here because, you know, everybody makes something different nowadays.
Sure.
So this is kind of a neat little cheater tool. It's a threader, thread saver more or less. So if you got like all thread or something like that, you stick it through there and you clamp onto it. And these are carbide, and it cuts in it and it'll clean the threads out. Makes it kind of nice because it opens up pretty big. These are the little Mac burr bit screw extractor deals that.
Oh, what?
So these are for like for bolts that are broke down in the hole.
Okay.
And you have like this one here, you put in your die grinder and you smooth out the face of it so it's flat. And then you move over to this one and it's got kind of a cone on it and it centers it. And then you drill her out with this and it helps extract it. They work pretty good.
That's awesome.
It's kind of a new thing about a year ago or so. I think they come out with them. They're pretty good.
Mac makes some really good stuff for extracting.
They do.
Stuff.
These are my favorite extractors. These guys.
Oh, okay.
They're Matco, but you know, they're squared off and they're pretty sharp, and so you just drill out the hole, and when the left-hand drill bit don't get it, you hammer this into it, and it'll pull out some pretty wicked stuff.
Yeah, they look like they grab onto the
yeah, they kind of dig in and bite pretty good. And then, you know, I still have some of the stuff that's like a Husky little setup that I got because it had a nice little driver deal wrench on there.
That'd be nice for tight spaces and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of tight spaces on the giant equipment, believe it or not. They got
funny.
acres of room. So, got like these are kind of a spring-loaded grip wrench.
Oh yeah.
And they work pretty good for when you're kind of off kilter on stuff.
Do you ever run into problems with like rust and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Service truck? Do you?
Yeah. I know a lot of guys will actually take the little packets, the desiccant packets that you get for different things, and they'll keep them in the drawers.
And that seems to help?
Yep, and that helps keep some of it away.
Awesome.
But, you know, like the sockets, they kind of get...
Oh, gotcha.
You know, if it's raining or whatever when you have the door open.
Oh, and these, sorry, I'm asking so many questions. I just, the drawers or I guess this cabinet is made by AG Body, I guess?
Yeah.
They're pretty popular in the service truck world?
They have been.
Okay.
You know, a lot of them run these. They're a pretty stout setup because it's, you know, it doesn't lock forward like the fancy ones.
Oh, okay.
And it's not quite as simple as the ones that you just kind of pull out, but I think these are a little bit better. I trust them better.
They seem
I think
stout.
the other ones will break.
Yeah.
These kind of get beat up pretty hard. You get your standard wrenches and stuff like that. We do get into some of the bigger stuff. You know,
Holy
2-inch wrench.
It is.
And then you got hydraulic wrenches here.
Okay.
Then half moon wrenches, different sets of crow's feet. And then these, it's in a Mac container, but it's not Mac wrenches. A buddy of mine bought a new set of wrenches, and he had one of them Montezuma toolboxes that fold up and hold them all. And these were just sitting around, and I bought them off of them.
Oh, no way.
These are actually an ancient set of Cornwell ratchet wrenches. I bought brand new on the scene in like 2007.
Look at that.
And they're still kicking.
So you have a shop that you work with as well, right? You're not just working out of this truck, or are you just all day on this?
What I do for our customer right now is I work all day out of this truck. That's home base. I'm in there. I cruise around the mine site to wherever anything's broke.
Wow.
Go after it, and this is all I'm at all day.
That's crazy. And so, like, if like a tool truck comes by, you'll just go to the shop. When they stop by.
Generally they'll kind of call us and tell us when they're coming.
Okay.
We'll end up with, you know, you get to know them and text them and whatever. When you need something, they'll bring it out, or you'll meet them in town sometimes. And
nice.
Snap-on came out with these. These are pretty nice. They're a bunch of little S-clips for your wrenches. So if you're bringing like a bunch of different ones up, you know, climbing up on the machine, you take your wrenches and you clip whichever ones you need on there, and they just kind of go like that, and then you got all of them on one deal, and you can drag them up with you, and it kind of helps keep a hold of them.
That's
so you
awesome.
don't lose them. I used to have all of my wrenches just kind of hung up on those in the box, and before I got these, and that makes it. I love these things. The problem is sometimes you'll break this little peg off there if you're not careful.
Gotcha.
That's why we got one sitting up here, one sitting up here down there. Because if, like, you know, if the door's shut a little bit because you're on a hill or whatever, the door will catch them.
Yeah.
And so you got to be a little bit careful.
I wonder if Snap-on would warranty it or not.
My Snap-on didn't. I didn't ask them to.
Oh,
I just ordered new ones.
Oh, okay.
I've broke, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them now. And then this one's your metric drawer. You know, got some pretty big metric stuff too.
Most of the bigger trucks, are they metric or standard? Like the massive ones?
Cat forever was standard, but they're within the last 5 years or so, it seems like a lot of them have been going to metric.
Oh, okay.
See a lot more metric than you used to.
Really? Huh.
You know, some of the equipment stays around for a long, long time. So, I mean, you got some stuff that's pretty old, because if it's a specialty piece of equipment like a cable reeler that they use for dragging up the big giant cables that run the electric shovels and stuff, you know, those things, they don't get used that often. So you'll have those from like 60s to 80s. Like some of those are ancient because, you know, they don't get broke down nearly as much as some of the others.
Gotcha.
Cordless tools drawer. is my snap-on angle wrenches.
Okay.
Which snap-on, the angles that they use are a little bit different than most people's.
Really?
And so I spent the big money on those. And then, you know, you got your crow's feet that go up to the bigger sizes. And then these are kind of neat. They're pipe wrench crow's feet. And so they got like the extra little bit in there to help keep it on the nut or whatever you're trying to loosen. Flare nut wrench.
That's
you know.
cool.
Then you got your torque adapters for your different things.
Okay.
Then my air tool drawer is not that, it's scrapers. And this is where you start seeing some of the Mac handles because I like those better.
Okay.
These are kind of a new thing that Snap-on came out with. They're like a heavier scraper that you can smack.
Oh, man.
With a hammer, and they work out pretty well. The ratcheting hose cutter, and that's straight out of Home Depot.
Oh, that's
they work
awesome.
pretty well, actually.
Huh.
Put a new blade in it, and it makes cutting things a lot easier.
I feel like you could put a lot of leverage on that.
Yeah.
Since it's ratcheting.
Yep, it makes it so. I mean, you can see on the blade there that I've cut some stuff you probably shouldn't. But then you got, you know, like the new RT Allens. Got a set of them in there. Your radiator picks. That's actually for adjusting the brakes on this truck. Keep them handy. Those are the nice little green handles. Make it a little bit nicer when you're doing valve adjusts and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah. So what kind of engine do those massive ones have?
It's generally, there's three big names in there. There's MTU, which is Detroit. That's the MTU 4000s. They're almost as big as the bed of this truck. I mean, they're...
Are you kidding?
Yeah, lengthwise, they're...
Holy crap.
Gotta get on the Jakes.
Yeah.
They're big. Some of them are.
Good.
You know, some of them, they're... You know, the 8-cylinder ones are probably about this, and then, you know, double that for the 16s. Gotten onto some of the equipment, like the newer Cat stuff, I think they have 20 cylinders in them.
Holy crap.
The 798s.
Do you enjoy working on the big stuff?
Oh yeah. You know, it's crawling around on it. It's a little bit more interesting than your average semi-truck or whatever, you know. You're walking underneath of it, you're not crawling underneath of it, which makes it nice. I don't like crawling around on the ground too much. And then you got different thread files. Those are a lifesaver out there.
Oh, nice. Because
you got some of the stuff that's kind of oddball, and it's hard to get replacements for some of that stuff in a timely manner.
Gotcha.
And then the extendable 3/4 ratchet that I think every mine mechanic has. This one's a little bent, so it's a little on the stiff side getting it out of there.
Is that the Easy Red?
Yep, that's an Easy Red. That's another one that came, I think I bought that in 07 or 08.
Really?
I've had it forever.
Yeah, it looks like the rest of them are all Snap-on.
Yeah, I've been slowly going through and getting all the different kind of, you know, your cheater ones like that do the fancy ratchet like that. And I'm a big fan of the comfort grip on the Snap-ons.
Awesome.
I like the grip because it's, you know, it gets pretty cold. Doesn't get cold. And hot, you know,
Right,
sitting out on your bumper, and the metal gets super hot when the sun's shining.
Sure, yeah.
And your locking extensions. I'm a big fan of the locking extensions because there's some of the equipment that it's like a bottomless pit that you're working over.
Oh, okay.
And so it's really difficult to go find your sockets and stuff when you drop them. Because they got belly pan, they're armored underneath.
Okay.
With belly pans that weigh, you know, like 1,000-some pounds or whatever. They're not easy to drop.
Oh, okay.
And so when you drop it, it goes down there and you're fishing with a magnet down in a hole, and it's not a good time. You know, and they've kind of been coming out with some interesting ones, like the really tiny ratchets with the 3/8 drives on them.
Awesome.
Those are really handy.
Do you have a go-to ratchet that you reach for?
So my favorite is actually the old flex head. This one.
Oh, okay.
This is the one I use the most probably. And they recently replaced it with these styles.
Uh-huh.
Which kind of lock and have a detent function, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that one, when you lock it off to the side, it's kind of floppy.
Oh, gotcha.
These have a little bit of a detent. It's, I'm getting used to it, but I still go for old trusty. And just like that, you know, a lot of these, I try and get the locking ones when I can. Same reason.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the funniest ones I've had. So, when you ratchet it like that,
Look
it
at
turns
that.
it. And this is another one. It's, I don't know, like Craftsman kit or something like that. And it's just kind of neat because no matter which direction you turn that, it ratchets the correct direction.
That's awesome.
And so when you're in a super tight spot,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You can kind of get some stuff done. It's, you know, rarely use it. I kind of keep it around just for laughs. I think I got that from Dad, actually.
Oh, awesome.
This is where you start getting into the sockets and stuff like that.
Nice.
These, I use this one specifically constantly. So these are for the T-bar hose clamps. So if you look, it's only got the small spot like that to keep the nut at the top of the socket.
Oh, okay.
But it's long for your stud that sticks out on the hose clamp, so you can run them in and out. It works a little bit better than running just a regular deep well. Super shallows, those come in clutch every now and then. I've used the crap out of these deep. These are another ancient one. These are Cornwell.
Oh, Cornwell, okay.
From way back when. Broke a couple of them, but they've held up pretty good. These are mostly Icon.
Okay.
And when the Icon breaks, I buy a snap-on one to replace it.
They hold up?
Oh, they do pretty good, actually. I mean, for the equipment world, you use a lot of 3/4, 15/16, an inch and a quarter.
Oh, okay.
You know, and then your 16, 17, 18 millimeters.
Gotcha.
I haven't broke any of the metric ones yet, actually.
Oh, really?
But I've broke the 15/16 and the inch and a quarter. I think this one, yeah, this is still an Icon.
Nice.
It's held up pretty well. Those new 1/2-inch drive electric guns put a lot of power to them.
Yeah.
And then all my different sockets that you got, these are all snap-on organizers. And these actually work pretty well because it's, when you get to what you're doing, you can take them out and just stack them on the door like that.
Oh, okay.
And that's the other benefit to old service trucks, is they're not aluminum.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so I know a few of the guys that get the aluminum body trucks, and they'll rivet a piece of metal onto the door just so they can stick their magnets to it. They have something to stick to.
Yeah.
And then these, we call them like starter sockets, because there's a specialty 12-point bolt that's on the starters on them big engines.
Okay.
It's really hard to get a hold into, and so these come in very handy for that.
Oh, you have a couple of them.
Yeah, there's two different, the 3/4 and the 5/8. And I went with these ones because of the squarish drive.
Oh, okay.
Instead of a pin drive.
Yeah.
And I like that better. It works a little bit tighter.
Okay.
And that makes a difference on those starters. You need every trick you can get to that, you know, and you got some of the casualties of war there.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, you do get into some of your bigger 1-inch drive stuff. This is for the, so I keep a few specific sockets. This one in particular is used on a lot of your dozers for the cutting edges. It's an 1 7/8.
Okay.
And you use that a whole lot. Another popular is the 1.5 inch. That's actually more for drain plugs and things.
That's a drain plug?
Yeah, so their drain plugs are a straight thread O-ring drain plug on a lot of the stuff, and it's an 1.5 inch head on most of them. A few of the different Allens that are popular on Hitachi equipment, actually. And these are, you know, your different wobble adapters and stuff.
That they're put together, okay.
Yeah, that one's a Pittsburgh.
I was like, that looks crazy.
Yeah. It's a bad day if you got to use all of them. You know, and this one's Snap-on.
And these socket organizers, are these the Hanson?
Nope, they're Snap-on.
Oh, they're Snap-on, okay.
Yep.
Nice.
These Allens are Pittsburgh. They're
okay.
Harbor Freight Specials. They haven't failed me yet.
Really? That's awesome.
To be honest with you. And some of these are actually for over-the-road equipment. These sockets, these are generally for the yokes coming out of the transmission and out of the rear ends.
Okay. What is that socket for? That weird looking.
This one?
Yeah.
So this is a 12-point. It's for the head bolts.
Oh, okay.
I think it's 34 series cat engines. Use that one. This one I bought for the MTUs clear back when, because it was really hard to get the metric size.
Oh, okay.
And so this oddball 7/8 was the only one that you could get that would fit the head bolts on the MTUs properly. This is the actual MTU socket. Back in the day, this was like a $300 socket.
Jeez.
And so you'd
man.
be the cheap guy and get the metric
That supply and demand is crazy.
Yeah. The scariest tool I own is this right here.
Holy crap.
So
Jeez.
inch dry, you know. You really want to use a zip tie or something to lock the socket onto it, because if that thing goes zinging off there, you're going to have a bad day.
Imagine that thing.
Pretty hefty chunk of weight sitting at the end of a gun. Right here. I don't carry a 1/2-inch air gun anymore.
Okay.
I got a 3/4.
Nice.
And then the 1-inch pistol.
Goodness.
I actually have 4 1-inch guns that I carry on the truck because I'm a little obsessive.
Looks like you're a fan of the Mac impacts?
That was more because originally I was, because they were IRs rebranded. Now they're CPs or whatever.
Oh, I see.
And I just I got a really good deal from a guy on that, and this one was on sale when I broke my Harbor Freight 3/4.
Oh, okay.
Which I actually loved.
Really?
It rubbed on the hub on the semis I was working on, and it rubbed a hole in the cone.
Oh, jeez.
But that thing, I called it the finger slayer because I lent it to a guy and he broke his finger with it. It was it was a whole funny thing that went on. And a bunch of air hammer attachments, got stuff like that. And you use these for cleaning out dirt mainly.
Okay.
On the cutting edges, you throw it in the air hammer and you kind of dig out all the dirt and gravel that gets caught in the cutting edges. That's what I use them for.
Okay.
Then I do carry a couple of these still, even though I hardly ever use them anymore.
Yeah.
I went to the electric ones and I like them.
Awesome. Is that a snap-on air hammer?
Yes, it is.
Does that hit pretty hard?
Yeah, supposedly that was the hardest hitting one at the time.
Oh, okay.
Forever is the 2050 or whatever it was. And then now I think Matco has the hardest hitting one.
Okay.
But the trigger on the snap-ons is still better. And then you got your different blowguns and things like that. And then I got the Texas Twister, which is really oddball attachments for air hammers where you can kind of hammer back towards you a little bit. You don't use it a whole lot. These are like socket attachments, so you can hammer on the socket while you're trying to turn it, and that'll break free a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Then at the end of the day, for a lot of the fittings, you'll actually use a flat blade on the fitting to hammer it and get it to turn and break free. Some of that stuff gets real tight. Like this one right here.
Whoa. That's crazy looking.
Turns it around back at you, and you have the different threaded attachments for it all. And I've used it a couple times, but it's kind of a really limited thing. And your whip, of course. You end up with a lot of air whips because a lot of sites run different size fittings.
Oh, gotcha.
There's, I think 2 different styles of ends. And then some sites run these 3/8 and a half. Some of them only run 3/8.
Oh, gotcha.
These.
Holy
So these ones are a little bit different because a lot of people have them now. The extendable bars.
Jeez.
But you want to get the ones, I think it's the gear wrench ones, where it has the little flats on the back of it.
Okay.
That help it stay on what you're trying to pry on.
Oh.
And so the actual gear wrench ones are the ones to go to on that.
Okay.
Use these for seals mainly. Keep 2 of them.
Jeez, that's for a seal?
Yeah.
Goodness.
And so you take and you kind of cross them like that on your seal and you pry out like that.
Must be some big seals.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen bearings, roller bearings that are that big. So, and you'll notice that a lot of it's actually pretty normal sized. Most of your mine sites will have a tool room with a lot of the more specialty tools.
Oh, okay.
And so you don't have to carry a lot of that stuff. Some of it, like that 1 7/8 socket. The tool room will have those. I carry one on the truck so I don't have to run back to the shop to get one if there's like a loose bit or something like that out in the pit.
Yeah.
These are nice. You want to get the ratcheting ones that have the offset like that.
Okay.
To clear the other nuts around it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But they're a little on the fat side. That's why they're still pretty shiny. It's kind of hard to get them some places.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and like one of my favorite things that I've done with like these, I made kind of an electrical kit. You got like your torch, your terminal tools,
Nice.
the microfiles, all your different kinds of crimpers and cutters and Deutz crimper and all that in one kind of general spot. And it makes it kind of nice. I keep all the electrical right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. You kind of just take it to where you need it.
Yep, and it makes it a little bit faster to do things. You're not hunting around digging for what you need.
Oh, sure. I guess working on those massive trucks, it sucked to come back down to your truck.
Yeah, that's it makes it a pain. Your knees get worn out pretty quick. So I'm like this one. You got like relays and battery terminals and
Nice.
some of your bigger fuses and things like that.
So how long have you been doing this?
So I've been doing this service truck stuff. I've been doing that for about 10 years.
10 years, okay.
And mechanicking overall, I've been doing it since about 07. It's been a minute.
So did you go to school for this?
Yeah, I went to Diesel Technology in Campbell County. It's Gillette, Wyoming.
Okay.
And that's where I got my certificate. And I worked at the coal mines up in Wyoming for 12 years. Nice. And then came down here in 2020, right in the middle of the COVID, and decided to go gold mining.
There you go.
So, one of the things, like you were talking about, is carrying stuff up and down with you. That's why I went with a lot of like these.
Sure.
Like these are terminals for your electrical, and then I built my own little Deutz kits. And the reason they're in kind of these smaller ones it clips on like that, so when you're trying to carry this stuff up onto the haul truck, you have it right there with you.
That's super convenient.
And it makes it kind of nice.
Yeah.
Now this one, keep this up there pretty handy. It's the, bit set that everybody has.
Oh yeah.
The Mac RBRT stuff in there in some of them.
That's solid.
And I don't have cabinet lights like some of the fancier guys, so I got these.
Oh, nice.
Little switches. They're at like Home Depot for like $2.
Yeah. Do they work pretty good?
They work all right. That one's dead.
Okay.
The one on this side does work though.
Oh, does it? Okay, yeah. I could see that putting up some decent light at night.
Yeah, but I've been lucky enough to be on straight days for most of my career with Double Down, so
oh, sweet, yeah.
hasn't been too much of an issue. This is the second most used door. The quick adjust pliers like that, they come in handy.
Goodness. What are those, the PZ4? PWZ4?
Yep.
Yeah, they are. Holy cow.
You got your big boy ones of them. The giant wrench extender. Those are
Holy crap.
pretty nice. Well, and this one's a super one because you can put a 3/4 breaker bar on the end of that, and you can get quite a bit of leverage for an open-end wrench.
I bet.
This one is a good one, and they don't make it in green for whatever reason.
Huh.
But for doing pins and stuff, this is like the go-to.
Okay.
This is the goat. Then your big crescent wrench.
Oh, big boy.
The other one that's kind of fun to mess around with. You got your Mondo set of. These I've used more for turning cylinders indexed into where I need them to be, more than actual like fittings and stuff like that.
Okay.
The magnet thing continues. Some of them are kind of hidden. Like if you look in there, there's a set that's stuck in there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For all those, it makes it kind of handy. Another one that they've come out with lately, or recently I should say, that I really like is these. And they're a comfort grip on it, so you're holding on to it and it helps keep it from vibrating your hand so bad.
Looks like most of your hammers are snap-on.
Yeah, I've got like the big boy that they just came out with, which they need to make this one a little shorter.
Oh, really?
Either that or I need to eat more Wheaties, because that's a lot of throw.
It does look like a lot.
But my favorite hammer is actually a little miniature Thor hammer.
Oh, man.
The Wiltons.
That's
Wiltons
awesome.
make probably the best set of hammers there is.
Oh, really?
Yep. And these you can get off eBay or Amazon, Home Depot, stuff like that.
Looks like it's been through some stuff.
Oh yeah, I've had that one for a long time. It's my favorite. What's really shocked me is these, because you wouldn't think that would actually keep the can on there, but they've only fallen off a couple times.
Oh, really?
Yep, and I have, I think 3 of them scattered on different cabinets on here. And that's the one that's holding those 2 cans.
Oh, okay.
Is, I believe, just a Harbor Freight one. This is a Nico 3/4.
Oh, man.
Because it skips sizes, it looks like. That's why, if you look like right there, I have a note.
Oh, okay.
Because it's actually a metric socket.
Oh.
But that's the size that matches up to 1.5 inches. And that's how you can have kind of a pretty big variety.
Yeah.
Without going too crazy. And the Nico stuff actually holds up pretty well.
Does it?
I don't think I've broke one yet.
So there are a lot of guys that do this type of work at the mines?
Yeah, I mean, generally your maintenance department will have, well, they run rotating shifts. So each crew will have probably 6 to a dozen guys generally on the different size mines.
Gotcha.
You know, some are lower, some are less.
Huh.
And then for contractors, generally there's 3 or 4, maybe half a dozen contractors out on the different sites at any one time.
Okay.
And this is all 12-point gray pneumatic.
Okay.
Use those on rare occasion. Then this is another one I got from Harbor Freight that's actually come in really nice.
Oh, it's like it's just a chisel.
Has a little guard.
Nice.
Kind of helps if the guy that's helping you doesn't have good aim. And these are just magnets. And so these are Mac.
Okay.
Magnets too. And I think they're helped out greatly because they run right up against this door here. And I think that's what helps hold them in.
Gotcha.
And then the snap-on mats, peel that off, they actually are so strong it'll start indenting into it.
No way.
Like those things are nuts, and those don't ever fall off. To-go bag, kind of saw that briefly. Impact screwdrivers, regular screwdrivers. These are Milwaukee. They just kind of came in a set, and I just threw them on there, figuring I'd tear them up.
Yeah.
They've been there forever.
Really?
They work good.
I like that they have like what they are on the top.
Yeah.
So they're not.
So you're not guessing whether it's flat or Phillips. That, and they're squared off so you can get a wrench on them too.
Ah, that's genius.
Milwaukee makes some really smart stuff. I bought a lot of Milwaukee stuff. They actually sent me one of their sockets, their impact sockets, when they were kind of first coming out with them to get my opinion of it.
Yeah.
And I actually still have it. Sorry to kind of bounce back and forth. I got
good.
the ADD pretty good.
You're good.
But it's right here.
Oh.
And so this is actually grooved in.
Uh-huh.
So it doesn't get wiped off there really fast. And it's really nice, actually. I've beat it up pretty good, and it still keeps on kicking. Oh, that was another one that I kind of skipped over, was these. And these are low profile adapters. So like a 1/2 to 3/8 adapter. And they're magnetic, so they stick to the socket a little bit.
Okay.
Like you carry this. This is to kind of jump start some of the equipment. So if it's got a low battery and it won't keep the starter engaged, you can cheat and go plug that onto the starter and start it that way.
Awesome.
I keep general pick and screwdriver set that's in here.
Oh, nice.
And then this is the meter that I love. This is my second one because I lost my first one. This is a Matco one. And I think it's the one that pretty much every technician should have. And it's the amp clamp model.
Oh, nice. It's built into it, huh?
Yeah. And it has all the rest of your functions too. AC, DC, volts, ohms, all that fun stuff. Because most people don't use a lot of the other stuff. They just volts, ohms. That's about it.
Yeah.
But you can do test starters and alternators really fast with that, because you just click it on there and hey, look, it's putting out 60 amps or whatever.
That's awesome.
It has a little pocket. I keep some of the spares, like the relay pullers. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this specific voltmeter.
That's nice. It has a nice big screen too.
And it starts out, because it's more of an electrician's type of tool, so it starts out on AC every time.
Oh, okay.
You just hit range and throws it on to DC.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then you got, this is a fine attachment. So you see how it has that notch there?
Oh,
That's for like the smaller wires. You kind of tuck it up into there and it's a little bit more sensitive. And then for your big cables, it's right there. 99% of the electrical stuff you're gonna do, this thing will do it. And it works in conjunction with like these. And so these are relays that you put in place to your normal one, and they have an on-off, so you can manually activate the stuff. And then it has a little loop that you can go on there, so you can measure the amperage going through your circuit.
Oh, that's cool. So do you grab this bag out pretty often?
Yeah,
while you're working?
fairly often. I mean, I'm getting kind of lazy now where I leave it in there and just go grab the tool out of it.
Okay.
But when I'm doing, mainly it's in the cabs, you end up having to tear a whole bunch of stuff apart to get to like blower motors and switches and things like that.
Gotcha.
I'll drag that up there with me and click on my electrical kit on the bottom. You just keep the basics. These are the snap-on ones, and I think I actually like these a little bit better than those Matco ones because the jaws flex on those a little bit when you really get to pushing them, and these don't seem to flex as much. Long cutters, standard pair of needle nose, regular pair of cutters. This is a ratcheting 14-in-1 from Milwaukee. It works pretty good.
Does it?
And it keeps all the bits in there.
Yeah.
I've swapped out a couple of them. That size and that size, the cat equipment like to use.
Okay. Awesome. So you still buy tools pretty often? Like you go on the trucks and stuff?
Here recently, I've kind of backed off a little bit.
Yeah.
But up until I don't know, earlier this year, well, last year, I guess, I was on there every time they were out there getting something.
That's awesome.
You know, and I'm kind of one of those guys, if I see somebody using something that I don't have, I'll kind of watch and see if it's something I need. And generally it is. Definitely if you borrow it more than once, you probably need to go buy it.
Right.
And this one, I built, this is all Milwaukee stuff, except I attached the magnets to it. And so,
oh, nice.
It actually sticks on there really well.
That is sweet. There's some massive batteries on there too.
Yeah. But yeah, I like to keep the 12s. And then I have one of the 5s that's the chemical resistant ones.
What is it? Chemical resistant?
Yeah, so if you see the 5s and you see that, the little shield, that means it's chemical resistant. Meaning, so if it gets dunked in oil and stuff, it doesn't mess it up as bad as the normal ones. These lights, these are really nice for welding mostly.
Really?
Yeah, and they have this part here. It's kind of a bear to get it out. So this part pulls out and it's got a pretty good spring on it.
Okay.
And so you can clamp it to like a handrail.
Oh, okay.
And it'll suck down on there and stay on there. And then it's got a pretty decent magnet too. So
nice.
You know, they ride on that wall in the truck on some of the worst roads imaginable and they don't fall off. So yeah, I actually generally keep it on low.
Oh, okay.
Because it gets
nice.
You know, pretty bright.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of a yellowish light. It's more of a daylight type light than like a white. It comes out like that.
Yeah.
You can move it all sorts of different directions. It makes it really nice for making spotlights so you can see what you're welding.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, I don't have a whole lot of lights because generally there's one on my head.
Oh, okay.
And so, I really love that one because it's small.
Is that a Milwaukee?
It's a Milwaukee light.
Okay.
It's just a little fella, but it's...
Oh,
and
that's
so
cool.
When you're doing stuff, you know, if you want it lit up in a specific spot, you can kind of move it to where you want it and it'll run on angles too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like that.
Huh.
And I have 2 of them, so I have one on the charger and one on my head.
Yeah.
They'll last about 8 hours.
8 hours, really?
Yeah, they last a pretty good while.
Awesome.
And so like down here I have a Milwaukee transfer pump and then a big chunk of harness.
Nice.
I use for just keeping the ends.
Okay.
Transducer, that's what they're called. Get it out of there. There we go. So this guy. So this is an air-powered transducer, and it pulls a vacuum on this. So what it is you got your hydraulic tanks and hydraulic lines and stuff like that. You got to replace an O-ring. You know, you're talking sometimes a few 100 gallons.
Holy crap.
So you screw this onto the vent, and you hook that up to air, and it pulls a vacuum on it. So you can pull the line off, and it doesn't dump all the oil out.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen people do like shop vacs for when they're doing like oil changes and like the drain plug strips out.
Yep.
Huh, that's kind of cool.
And then the Milwaukee transfer pump, those things are really nice. I burned mine up using it as a vacuum pump on a different thing, but I gotta fix it. Nice. These are all different kits. This is a Komatsu O-ring kit. That's a Cat silicone O-ring kit, Cat D-ring kit, Cat O-ring kit, which I like the Cat one specifically because it has a little cheat sheet on the inside of the lid.
Oh, okay.
So It's color coded for the 61, 62s, flat face, and then the straight threads. And so it shows you which one's supposed to be where.
Yeah.
Bunch of spare O-rings, gaskets and things. I believe these are just Allen sockets that I've had for right next to forever. This, I believe, is that's a dial indicator with a magnetic base.
Okay.
I'd have to look. Oh, this is the step pickle fork.
Oh, okay.
It's on there. I don't think I've ever used it out at the mine. Long Allens, star bits, stuff like the Torx, I guess, the proper term.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, most of the Cornwell stuff is ancient because there just got a Cornwell guy.
Oh, really? So you get all the trucks out here now?
Yeah, there's a Mack, Snap, there's I think 3 Snap-on trucks, and then Matco guy, and it's got a little bit of all of them now.
Awesome.
And actually it was within the last year or so that they built a Harbor Freight in town.
Oh, really?
So a lot of my Harbor Freight stuff that's like that socket that's been in there forever is, because it was like a 3-hour drive to go warranty like that one socket, and it's like, I ain't doing that.
It's not worth that.
And then these are all snap ring pliers, these little kits.
Oh, nice. I like that they're in the little pouch. It's cool.
Yeah, it makes it kind of nice and convenient.
Yeah.
And you got internal and external instead of the ones where you take them apart and put them back together. These are dedicated.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit nicer. So this one is most of my electrical diagnostic stuff.
Okay.
So like that relay kit I showed you. This is crimper, the ratcheting crimper for like coax and stuff like that. And then your relay test jumpers, I believe is my thermal imager.
Oh man, look at that thing.
So it's fun to play with, and it's good for hydraulics, cooling systems.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And a little bit on wiring, because if you got a circuit that's running super hot, you can actually look at the harness and you can see the heat in the wire.
Oh, really?
So we've done, buddy and me, and done a couple setups like that where we had to trace it out that way.
Huh.
This one, pretty sure this one's the horoscope.
Oh, yeah.
I got this one because you can disconnect this part from it and run this, and you can Wi-Fi onto it, Bluetooth.
What?
And then you can have that stuck on what you're looking at, and then you Bluetooth to this handle, and you run this handle on what you're doing, so you can kind of do one of these jobs.
Huh.
Pretty handy. It's a little bit bigger screen than the normal one. I ran the smaller one for a long time.
Do you use that feature a lot, like the wireless feature?
Not as much as I thought I would.
Yeah.
But it is handy when you need it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this is a relay tester. If you think it's failed, you can kind of be sure out in the field instead of just swapping out to another one.
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes it takes a while to get it.
Nice.
This is just a bunch of the different connectors.
Okay.
Pretty handy.
Yeah.
I dig through it fairly often. It's got all sorts of different stuff, more than you'd ever need. This is the brake finder.
Oh, the power probe.
Well, it's the short finder.
Okay.
And so I had the master kit, the 3 master kit for a long time.
Uh-huh.
And this ended up kind of dying. And so I got just this kit by itself, and then I upgraded to the new Maestro.
Oh, okay.
Which I have to kind of give Power Probe flack for that, because they didn't really give you a case for the new Maestro.
Oh, really?
Look, yeah, that's the Maestro. Huh. And so I have it in a snap-on case. But you can Bluetooth onto your phone with it and record what you're doing with it.
So is that a huge jump from the 3 then, like as far as functionality and stuff?
It is, because it has a lot more like voltmeter functions built into it.
Oh, really?
Jury's out on whether or not I'd still do it, because I really liked the 3, and I like the size of it more. This is kind of bulky.
Huh.
This is a Bluetooth voltmeter. You can link it to your phone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I have a lot of extra connectors and some of the accessories, and that is so you can set, on some of these trucks, you're a long ways away from the source of what you're doing.
I bet.
So, like a backup alarm, you hook this up to your backup alarm, and then you go clear up into the cab, put it in reverse to see if you're getting power there, and that's why it ain't making noise.
That's awesome.
A lot better than stringing leads.
Yeah.
You know, and even in the automotive world, you know, when you're trying to probe something underneath the car and you got to be in the car to make it work. If you're by yourself, which I spend the vast majority of my time by myself, so I don't really have some, hey, you know, I'm not in a shop with 3 other guys standing next to me.
Oh, that makes sense then.
This I spent the extra money for the snap-on for the battery tester, because this one will do 24-volt systems.
Oh, okay.
It's just standard issue battery alternator starter tester. This one, if you get the top dog, it'll do 24-volt systems, which is nice in the equipment world.
Nice.
Electrical is pretty much my favorite thing to do.
Is it?
And so I like having a lot of the cool stuff for that.
Holy moly.
Sun's coming out, it's starting to warm up a
I'm
bit.
like, hurry up. Come on. Not you, the sun.
Yeah. About to have to take the jacket off. It's getting warm.
You're crazy. So you say you were down at Wyoming before this? Is it get colder than here in Nevada?
So considerably. There's actually parts of Wyoming that are colder than Alaska for parts of the year. I don't know if it's some like polar vortex deal or whatever. I think North Dakota is probably colder than Wyoming, but there ain't much that is. The coldest I went was negative 45 with a 55 mile an hour sustained wind. So it was a wind chill of like 95.
Oh my God.
Negative 95.
Yeah,
you had to like wear goggles and stuff because you could feel the moisture on your eyes starting to freeze, and it.
Oh,
it's not a fun time.
Oh my! Yeah, I guess this would be like warm compared to that.
Yeah, this type of weather is really nice to work in because it's cool enough to keep you cool while you're doing stuff, but it's not, you know, so cold that you can't feel your hands at all. And
I don't know, man. Mine. You're like in a little button down. I have like a heated jacket and stuff on here. I'm like still dying.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's flannel, man. The flannel keeps you warm.
Love it.
So this is where I start doing some of my Milwaukee stuff is evident.
Love that.
Like this is a grease gun, the electric grease gun, which is a godsend.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be excited about a grease gun, but that thing, I love that thing. And this.
Look at that thing.
Is Big Mama.
Oh my gosh.
This is actually the number for changing tires on this.
Really?
So it has a function on it. It's a tire torque setting. And so what it'll do is it'll stop right at about 400 foot-pounds of torque. And so you zip them all on like that with it off the ground, so it pulls the rims all the way in.
Oh, wow.
You set it down so you don't have to go lock the brakes and play around with it, and then you finish torquing them.
Huh.
And it works really nice for that. That, and like if you have loose cutting edges and stuff like that, you can go zip them up without having to run air lines and all the rest of it.
Awesome. Yeah, look at that. It's like got like frost on it.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's a little chilly in there. Probably not how you're supposed to take care of them, but that's the life they live. It hasn't died yet. Awesome little radio. You're working in a pretty big area on the equipment, and you can hear it everywhere.
Nice.
These are more little to-go kits that I've made. Flat face or straight thread O-ring plugs. This is just a bunch of fuses, tech screws and stuff like that. Self-tappers, things like that.
Oh yeah.
And then this is just kind of a tray of random odds and ends that, you know, I broke, dropped it, fittings, things like that, tape. These die grinder bits, the wrenches for them all. This, like the grinder.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, all these are the burr bits.
Okay.
The carbide bits, whatever you call them. And these are the El Mondo large hyper steps.
Oh yeah, nice.
That's that, and then that's the big set there.
Okay. So you like the Hyperstep?
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Awesome.
I went to them a while ago.
Did you?
And they've done pretty well. And it's cold.
Oh man,
yeah, I got
huge.
them up to 1 inch.
Holy crap. Goodness.
I went for the Cobalt Hyper Steps for the regular set. That's what this one is.
Nice.
Drill index. You got your grinder disc, cut off wheels, sloughing pads. Nice to have it all in one easy place. You take it out, throw it on the bumper, and whatever you need, you have.
Yeah, I like that big light bar up there.
Yeah, those actually came with the truck.
Really?
Yeah. I smushed the other one with the
no.
other side with the crane a little bit, so it's a little not very nice looking, but it still works.
Awesome.
So I got one on each side, and then I actually have one on the back of the headache rack that points back towards the bed.
You say headache rack?
Yeah.
It's a headache rack.
So this is your headache rack.
Oh, okay.
So what that does is, you know, keep shit from, excuse my French,
Okay.
stuff
Yeah.
from going through the back window and giving you a headache. And so if
I
you
learn
look
something new every day.
down underneath, that's where that bar is.
Oh,
and
yeah.
on this one, got the best Sawzall in the world.
Nice.
I love these.
Small handheld one.
The way that it works is it makes it a lot more convenient to use. I've even used it as a jigsaw.
Oh, really?
Like that.
Huh.
Then grinder, drill. Yeah. For such a little guy, it'll break your wrist.
Do you ever take these out, like these drawers out, or they pretty much stay in here?
They pretty much stay in here.
Okay.
I have, and actually they work just like a toolbox drawer. You can do that and pull the drawer out of the box.
Huh.
They stay in there.
Okay.
Then pistol grip 1 inch,
That thing is ridiculous.
which it's
Oh, my goodness.
generally by the time you get into this big, it's probably time to drag out the airline, but it is handy.
It is.
This one I really like because it has it's the Bluetooth one, the 1 key, and it makes it so you can do a precision setting. And so when you're doing a bunch of bolts and you're trying to torque them all to, like, 200 foot-pounds, you can kind of dial in on your first one about where it is, get it close, and that way you can just zip through the rest of them and it gets it really close for you, and then you torque it the rest of the way.
Oh,
and
that's
it makes
awesome.
it really handy to have.
I had no idea. I've seen 1 key on a lot of the Milwaukee stuff I've bought, and I never really pay attention to. That's awesome
Yep.
to know that it does that. Huh.
Yeah, the 1 key is really nice to have for stuff like that. See, and they're not bolted down, so you gotta pull it a little bit to keep it away. This is the #1 tool I use.
That's it right there, the 3/8?
That little guy.
I never would have thought that.
Battery in it, ready to go all the time.
Is that the newer one?
Yeah, that's the 500 foot-pound one. And I gotta say, I preferred having the button on top.
Oh, okay.
The putting it in the center and double pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
Well, for ADD guys like me, I would sit there and do that all the time, and yeah, I end up switching it. And then the surge quarter driver, so it's the hydraulic one, so it's a lot quieter.
Nice.
And I really like that one. And then the new big dog, high torque 1/2 inch.
Awesome.
And then now it's not such a big deal, but the old 1/2 inch was kind of a lot bigger.
Oh, was it?
And so I bought the mid torque 1/2 inch because a lot of times you don't need that much power. And so I had this one. So for most things, I'd be doing this one because the old one, it was a little bit longer and it's a fair bit heavier.
Gotcha.
And I got one of the new Forge batteries. I plan on updating the rest of the fleet, but it takes a while.
Yeah.
And then you got the die grinders, the different cordless ratchets. This one's, so a lot of people get confused on these. This one's the high speed one.
Okay.
And it's a lot narrower head.
Okay.
If you see the one that has the little pin up here, that's the higher torque one. So this one will only do like 35 foot-pounds or something like that, but it goes really quick. And then I call this the Thunder Stick, and it is, I love this thing.
You use it a lot?
Oh yeah, it's really handy because sometimes you're trying to reach out and grab stuff, and it gets in a little tighter spots. I love that thing to death. I think that's one of the best things they've made. And then I got the big boy die grinder.
Whoa, that's a M18 die grinder?
Yep.
Holy crap.
But
This has some power.
it works good. So those ones, the little ones, leave a little to be desired. When you're doing like some of the bigger wire wheels and stuff, they kind of run out of power pretty quick.
Okay.
I think they start overdrawing the battery, and it gets mad and shuts off. And pencil die grinder, which it sits in there so much the tip fell off. The 90-degree drill, which is also another lifesaver. Bad day when you need to use it, but it's handy to have.
Yeah.
This one's pretty ho-hum door. I got funnel holder, which those will actually stay on there for the most part. They do bounce out. And then I got all these. They're like caliper holders.
Oh, nice, yeah.
But they work really nice for holding all my straps.
What are those straps for?
For the crane, for picking things up.
Oh, okay.
You know, you got, it's 4 foot. You got this one. This is all one strap.
Oh,
it's
wow.
like huge.
Jeez.
But it's for picking up the different things, you know, torque converters, starters.
Oh, okay.
Pumps.
Makes sense. Huh.
Things like that.
Yeah.
I used to have like a 3 and 4 leg chain, and I really miss those, but I don't have those anymore.
Huh.
But a lot of the sites are getting so they don't really want you to use chains.
Oh, really?
And they want you to use straps for everything. Huh. And then pig mat, and I got some oils and some wiper blades over there, because when it rains, everybody needs a wiper blade. And then white suits, which are actually really good for cold.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's kind of a Wyoming trick, is you take these Tyvek suits and they don't let air through.
Oh.
And so you put your bundle up in your regular clothes, and then you throw a Tyvek on, tape the cuffs on it, and it doesn't let any air pass through, so it keeps you warmer in the wind.
Oh, that's so, I could use that right now. There's like a solid 5-mile-an-hour wind just...
Yeah, it's a little chilly. I mean, you want one? I'll give you one.
I'll just die.
This one I picked up off of YouTube. So the stupid DEF containers that you see at the gas pumps all the time.
Yeah.
These screw on to pretty much any gallon jug container. Watch me pull out the one that it doesn't. This is like compressor oil.
Okay.
But it fits on there. And now you have a convenient little pour spout for your,
look
your
at
oil.
that.
And like coolant containers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Makes it super nice.
That's awesome.
You got...
Jeez.
Some of your big boy pry bars here. And hammers.
Goodness, look at that thing.
You got your persuaders. Unfortunately, that's not sealed real well.
Okay.
So yeah, rust is a real thing in there.
Goodness, this is like all persuasion.
Yeah. These are the, I wasn't asking. Your dead blows. That's pretty much everything that I keep in there.
Huh. That's super handy to have that for long stuff, though.
Yeah, it makes it really nice because, you know, there's not a place you can put some of that stuff.
This air, like this is ridiculous. Like the sun, I wish the sun would start getting warmer or something.
It's a beautiful day.
Like I'm dreading going to the other side of this truck.
I was gonna say, do we need to turn it around so it's the sunny side?
Yeah, maybe
make it a little easier
that.
to see.
Yeah, let's do that.
In here, I'll just go through that real quick.
Okay.
It's pretty standard. I got a big fuel cube, transfer tank, big air tank that's hooked to the air compressor, my flam cabinet up there.
Okay.
Big ladder for getting onto stuff. Different ladders.
Awesome.
Then these are actually how you jump start equipment.
Oh, no way.
So most of them have a port set up for that, and you hook it up to your welder set to MIG so it maintains a certain voltage.
Okay.
And you turn it to 24, 26 volts, and you hook it up like that, and it charges the batteries.
No way. Huh.
Pretty convenient.
Yeah. All right, so we got the truck flipped around in the sun at least. Man, that crane is huge.
So that's 10,000 pounds, 21 feet.
Jeez. And I guess you use that quite a bit?
Oh yeah, constantly. In the equipment world, a crane's a must.
Yeah.
You gotta have one. You're talking batteries that are over 100 pounds. And there's 4 of them. So on this one, it's got, like these bags are for the GET.
Okay.
These are the washers. Ground engagement tools is what GET is. It's for the cutting edges and stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's your hardened washer. And if you notice, it has a rounded side and a flat side. It's actually concave, and when you tighten it, it compresses and it works as a spring to help lock it.
Oh, okay.
So it's a washer that has a right and wrong way to put on.
Huh.
Bottle jack for getting this thing up the ground in case you have a really bad day and need to get the front off the ground. The back to change a tire, you use those.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Big 1 7/8 socket I was talking about, that's for these guys.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's what holds on your cutting edges on your rubber tire dozers, D10s, B11s. I carry a few spares of those because you use them. As well as a few of the other smaller ones for like blades and stuff like that. Another 1-inch air impact.
Man.
I've used this one. I got a good deal on it. A lot of your different clevises and stuff for picking stuff up with the crane. Your lifting links. I have destroyed that. It was really nice. And yeah.
I like those little holders for your hoses.
Yeah, Matco made those, and it's nice. These will slide down over time, but it does work really nice. This is like a tool holder that I still haven't really gotten the gist of using.
What is it?
It's like it spreads out, and you can index it in different ways to like hold your impact and stuff like that on there.
Huh. Interesting.
I just really haven't gotten into the habit of playing with it yet. This is actually a jack stand puller, and so the big stands that you use to hold up the blades on the equipment and stuff, they have like little rollers, and you hook it like that and you roll it.
That'd be nicer than having to get on the ground and fish them out.
Well, and trying to roll them, they're really heavy duty casters and stuff. They are a pain to move if you don't have one. This is the almighty air filter blower / radiator blower. Comes out the side like that for cleaning air filters and radiators, things like that. There's a bunch of stuff in this too.
Nice, more Milwaukee stuff. That's cool.
Oh yeah, big Milwaukee guy. All this is you got a bunch of bolts.
Okay.
That's pretty much all that's in here. This one is kind of a hydraulic test kit. So these hook in line like that.
Okay.
You'll disconnect your line, hook it onto this, then hook this into where the line went, and then you have a test port fitting right here for your gauge. So you can add a test port to what you're trying to test, you know, and still run the system instead of deadheading it, because some of that you do not want to deadhead. That's bad. 10,000 PSI, don't mess around. This is just a whole saw kit. This is the gauge that uses an electronic one, and it just hooks into those fittings like that.
Nice.
These are El Cheapo Grande 3/4 inch deep sockets.
Oh, okay.
I took the good ones out of there and put them in over there, and then the rest just hang out over here. And the bottom part of that, these are code 62, 61 flange plugs and caps. What it does, your hydraulic hose this is the wrong size, but it fits in there like that. And then you tighten this down on it and it caps it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Not for pressure, mind you, but it will keep it from leaking all over everything. This is just a first aid kit that I bought.
Oh, sweet.
I decided it was probably good to have around. Yeah. Oh, I got the big one because it has that SAM splint. So these are JIC. See the taper?
Yeah.
That's what seals on these.
Okay.
And so these ones are flat face O-ring instead of the straight thread. So on the face it has an O-ring instead of down here.
Okay.
Cat really likes these. And colored zip ties for marking your lines so you can put it back together.
Well, that's smart. Jeez.
Shocked that these things don't break. It's all pipe. High pressure pipe.
Nice.
Caps, plugs.
Okay.
This is a company tool. It's a laptop with a lot of the diagnostic software and stuff. But this is the adapters that you use for the mining stuff.
Nice.
The heavy equipment. All that fun jazz.
Do you have to use that a lot?
Yeah. Whole bunch. Because it'll tell you, what sensor's mad. Erase codes, look up codes, see what's going on. You can read most of the sensors and stuff. It's actually a little bit more in depth than most of the OBD2 stuff on like a car. It's actually a little bit more, you can see and calibrate things. And 3/4 inch torque wrench, 1/2 inch tech angle.
Okay.
Green, of course.
Nice.
I got a 3/8 inch floating around back there somewhere. This is grease fittings, actually. All the different adapters for your grease gun. So you got like your needles.
Oh man,
90-degree adapters. This is like a quick lock one that I don't use.
Huh.
So this is the collapsible 3/4 inch twin beam.
Oh jeez.
You got your handle. Clips onto
Look
that.
at
I'm not
that.
gonna lock it because I gotta go get a screwdriver to get it unlocked. And then this
Oh my
clicks into
god.
that.
Goodness.
I think it's good to like 650
Jeez.
foot-pounds, I think.
Do you have to use that a lot?
Yeah, mainly for tires.
Oh really?
Yeah, because most of the heavy equipment things are actually way beyond this. Like cattle run, I think on their tracks, 1,000 foot-pounds plus 120 degrees.
Holy crap.
And so you're using hydraulic wrenches. It's
Jeez.
you put your socket on it and it's this little hydraulic deal. You got your porta power down there and it'll turn it mechanically. It has a arm that sticks out
Okay.
to hold it still. And yeah, it'll go up thousands of foot-pounds.
Wow.
Here's that 3/8 tech angle. Everybody loves these.
Ooh, yeah, I do love that green with the black too. It looks so
Yep.
good.
Well, and the black ones are actually a little bit higher torque than the chrome ones.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, when they came out with that, it's the new like second generation basically.
Okay.
And so they go up a little bit higher, I found out. Then you got your caution tape and stuff like that, because when you're running your crane on the sites, you got to cordon off the area so people don't walk underneath your load. And this is just your standard old ordinary slide hammer.
Okay.
Like here, this is just junk drawer odds and ends. Baling wire, high vac, which for O-rings, there's nothing better than high vac. Molly coat.
Molly coat, huh?
It's high vacuum grease. It's super sticky. And then light bulbs, sensors, random relays. This is a bag full of light bulbs. Because running back to the shop just to get a light bulb is just not fun. Got a little inverter, which I run mine on the clamps because if you look right here on my step, there's a jump start terminal right here.
Oh, nice.
And so you just pull this off, which it's been forever since I have. You pull that off and you hook onto that, hook it onto the ground, and then you got a little inverter right there.
Oh man, that's convenient.
Yeah, and so I never bothered to wire one in permanently. And more tape, pipe fittings, rapid charger for when I'm running the generator.
So working on heavy equipment and stuff, what's the biggest thing you've ever worked on?
So the biggest thing I've ever worked on would be Ursa Major.
That sounds big.
And it is, I believe it's a Bucyrus dragline. I might be butchering that. It's a Bucyrus dragline. And it has a sister in Australia, but the one that I was on is the Super, and it's like 5 foot longer or something. Anyway, long story short, it's the largest piece of walking equipment on Earth.
Oh man.
And so the way that a dragline walks is it has 2 pedestals and a tub. And the tub is what it swivels around to, dig and do all that. Well, it has these 2 feet, and when it goes somewhere, you swivel to where you want to go, and then it pushes them down like that, and it just kind of scoots its butt.
Oh, like it legit, it walks around. That's cool.
It walks.
Huh.
Instead of like a tracked piece of equipment or something like that. And you're talking like the tip of the boom's like 300 some feet.
Holy crap.
And it's got like a 160 yard bucket on it.
Oh man.
So 160 yards of dirt in one scoop.
Crazy.
10, 12 yard bucket on a piece of equipment's fairly, big.
Uh-huh.
In the mining world, we get like 30 yard buckets, I think, like in the teens, 20s, stuff like that. But then like the drag lines, yeah, it's a bucket you could drive this into. Big. This is the one that I smushed with my crane.
Oh no.
I had a ladder sitting up here, and when I came down to unhook my hook, smushed the ladder into it. Still works. I thought it would be dead and I'd have to go buy a new one for him, but
Yeah.
and this shelf actually isn't bolted into anything. It just sits on top of these two.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a shelf I had laying around because that was another one. It was just kind of a big empty cabinet. There wasn't anything in there. Got a bunch of your AC stuff down here. Tank there, set of gauges. I got the setup to run nitrogen to test. So you can pressure up the system with nitrogen to find the leaks.
Oh, nice. It's not wasting a bunch of Freon.
Yep, air-operated vacuum pump, which is definitely the way to go. Way better than electric. Simplest thing in the world.
Oh, okay.
Just a little dinky guy.
Yeah.
It doesn't weigh hardly anything. And all it is that same thing as that Venturi I showed you.
Uh-huh.
It's the same thing, just in a little box with
Nice.
hookups. And it'll pull a system down to 20 inches of vacuum, like,
Nice.
quick. Then that is an injector that you use on the system to put oil in it when you have a vacuum in it, or when it's already charged, because you can mechanically force it in. You undo it like that, and you put your oil in here, and then you hook up to your low side, and then you screw it in.
Nice.
And it forces the oil into it, so even if it's already charged, you can inject oil into it.
Oh, that's sweet.
These are those big seal drivers.
Okay.
Yes. I don't get into this stuff very. I think this is just more. Yeah. This is a pinion seal driver set.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Same handle. Different pullers and things. You know, this is your standard 3-jar puller. This is like a. Yeah, this is another one. It's just the H-bar.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
You got the 2 feet. This is kind of like the bad day box.
Oh, okay.
Especially up here. 90% of my work's done on the left side of the truck.
Oh, okay.
This is a bearing splitter.
Okay.
So this, like I said, I don't remember half the stuff. Oh, cooling system refiller.
Oh, nice.
You know, same stuff. I went with the one that has instead of the caps that lock on, it's just the rubber, like a plug.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I did that because it's a little bit more universal. That, and I was going to steal the Venturi out of it to make one of the things that I have on the other side before I got that. So on this, you got like these. This is just temp gun that everybody has. This one's ancient.
Yeah.
When they were brand new and hot on the scene. This is, I can't even remember. Oh, fan clutch set.
Nice. I'm guessing you don't have to use that very often.
No, that's more for, that's a leftover from other equipment worked on. It's not really from the mining stuff. You can use these a whole bunch, you know. And this is the stud remover and installers. I haven't really had to break those out.
Oh, nice. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Steering wheel puller that all the equipment use.
Oh, really?
They use pretty much all that. This will do pretty much any of them. Couple spare parts for my truck. Tap and die driver set. It's a ratcheting deal. Just had it forever.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's nice.
Fortunately, this cabinet leaks, and so it gets water and stuff in there. These are all extractors.
Oh, okay.
Everything in here. This is these little guys.
Yeah.
They work pretty good. This is probably my favorite extractor set, and it's a Matco, I believe. But it has, you know, it has all the shallows, and it has these which work pretty good, and then it has left-handed cobalt drill bits, so they spin the opposite way. Yeah, it makes it really nice because it's all in one, easy to go. Another rethreading set.
Awesome.
This is I actually got this for working on engines and stuff at my house. It's because it says it's rethreading, but it's not. It's like a thread cleanup kit.
Okay,
is what it is. Yeah, it's a chaser kit. Okay. That is a big Matco tap and die kit, which I only go up to like 1/2 inch. The rest of that stuff you get from the shop.
Oh, that's nice.
I'd like to carry a few bigger ones, but
yeah. Oh, that's a solid set.
I like to go for the biggest sets I can afford. Welding.
Okay.
And I got the Milwaukee vacuum, the fuel vacuum. Super nice for cleaning out cabinets and the insides of stuff.
Awesome.
Getting all the dirt out. Tire chains for this.
Okay.
Then all your different rags and things. Beat to crap snap-on welding helmet.
Is it?
I've dropped it off a couple haul trucks.
Oh no.
So she's a little rough.
I mean, if it's still put together, that's a good thing.
I had to kind of tape the inside of her back together.
That's a nice one. I like the green.
Yeah, I love the green. I want to get the one that has the light that you can move around on it.
Oh, okay.
Haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. A bunch of different kinds of gloves.
Oh yeah.
For different occasions. These are the Kevlar heat gloves.
Oh, okay.
So when you're dealing with super hot stuff, these are nice. Welding jacket, vent, dust mask respirator. These are the Milwaukee knee pads.
Oh, no way.
They're squared off, and they work really nice for going underneath the dozers and things like that when I do have to be on my knees in the rocks and dirt.
Huh.
Those are nice.
That's nice.
Keeping your knees out of oil.
Oh, yeah.
And you got your oxyacetylene cutting torch set up, a couple come-alongs, a heater.
Oh, there we go.
Which is super nice to have.
Get that out now.
That's a diesel-fired heater.
Nice.
And then I call this the old man chair. It's a gardening stool, I think is what it's sold as. But it's padded on the top and bottom. So what it's nice for is I use it as a welding chair, but you can also, works as a knee pad like that, and you got a nice little place to push yourself up from.
That's genius.
Yeah, and it's like a little $20 gardening stool off Amazon. Yeah, I call it the old man chair. I got an air arc set up in there. That welder's not big enough to air arc, but most of the mines have giant welders on site, so if you do have to air arc something, you can.
Gotcha.
Get into like the inside.
Got more in here?
So this is a Mondo jump starter, and it's a 12 or 24 volt.
Oh, holy crap, look at that thing. That's huge.
3,000 amp. And so I use it to start haul trucks, but probably not in the way you'd think, because they're air start. And so you hook up your air to them, but a lot of times the battery to actually get it to turn over is dead. And so you charge it up with your air, and then you throw this on there, get the system to boot up, then you can start it, and then it'll take off and run.
Man.
But yeah, the electric start haul trucks, I don't think you're starting it with that. You use the welder. You notice that I have high mount lights.
Yeah.
That's for the muddy season, because it'll get so muddy that you can't see out of your headlights anymore.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I put the cell phone booster on there, because it's super nice to have, and I probably ought not leave that sitting up there.
Oh, geez, yeah.
I thought I was missing a couple things.
What a solid setup you got.
It's done me well.
That's so cool. Love it. Gosh, well, Brandon, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to
No problem,
show
man. My
everybody your
pleasure.
setup, man. That's,
My pleasure.
that is so cool. I love it. I need to get more service trucks. It's just so interesting. It's an industry I'm not really familiar with.
The service truck lifestyle is hard to leave once you've been in it.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
it's
awesome.
You get all set up, you know, a lot of guys, most guys, including myself, they sell their regular toolbox. I have just a little junky Harbor Freight toolbox at my house.
Yeah.
I don't have any of the big fancy snap-on ones.
Gotcha.
This is my toolbox.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be intimidated working by myself, you know, just on the road by yourself.
Yeah, at first it definitely can be, but once, it's another thing, one of those things that once you kind of get in the groove of it, where you're by yourself doing your own thing, you end up loving it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to go back after you've been in that, you know, back to like a shop environment.
Yeah.
Ooh, if I could talk. Because
awesome.
you're so used to having everything the way that you want it, listening to whatever you want to listen to, and just being in your own zone, that having people around you ends up becoming a distraction.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah. So I always like to ask, do you have any advice for somebody that's looking to get into this type of industry, you know, heavy equipment type stuff, or even just like service trucks in general, or just tool buying and just...
Tool buying in general, I would say go cheap at first, and then when you break it, then go to the big dog stuff.
Yeah.
You know, to try and mitigate some of the costs, because it can get... So you'll notice that most of my tools look pretty new, and that's because when I was a coal miner, it was company provided tools and toolbox.
Oh, nice.
And so I didn't provide any of my own stuff. When I come up here, it became company provided toolbox, but I had to get my own tools. So I started getting more and more of the new stuff. That's why some of it's like ancient, and then brand new.
Oh, I see.
And then once I moved out into solo contractor trucks, then obviously it's, you know, all your own tools.
Gotcha.
And so I ended up in the span of, you know, 5 years going through a huge investment in tools all at once.
Gosh. That's so awesome. Well, Brandon, thank you again. I really do appreciate you.
My pleasure. I love talking about tools.
So, me too. I love it. God, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I am so freezy.
Stay warm out there.
Yeah, stay warm. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have a box or a setup you'd like to have featured on this channel, you can hit me up, send me a message on Instagram, or just send me an email. But till the next one, we'll see you.
I'm gonna get rid of the stress. I'm feeling